Get ready to dive into the comic book realm where heroes rise and villains take the helm. We're here to dissect the stories and the art. Our source material, we tear the panels apart.
All right, let's get into volume 5 here, covering issues 19 through 22. Let me give the creative team for this story. Ryan Ferrier is the writer, art by Matthias Bergara, colored by Paul Little, and lettered by Ed Dukeshire. Issue 19, Dillon Munson's arrival at SAMCRO as a prospect quickly turns from an opportunity into a liability. Eager to prove himself, Dillon's impulsiveness leads to a disastrous incident during a celebratory party with the Mayans. After spilling beer on a Mayan member that was probably like 5 times his size, tensions escalate, culminating in Dillon sneaking off to discover and tamper with the Mayan stash.
Don't fucking pick a fight with Supermax.
Jeez, criminy, that dude was insane.
Like, what was it? Like the guys from LAX, one of them was like Hernandez or some shit. He was like 8 foot tall Mexican.
Freaking massive.
Yeah.
Caught in the act, Dillon critically injures a Mayan in a desperate fight, jeopardizing SAMCRO's new alliance. Jax, furious with Dillon's recklessness, strips him of his prospect status in a harsh lesson delivered by Tig and Juice. The fallout from Dillon's actions leaves SAMCRO scrambling to repair the relationship with the Mayans and a lady by the name of Cassandra Wolf. The next issue, as SAMCRO prepares to clean up the mess left by Dillon's betrayal, the tension escalates when Dillon and his gang raid the Sons' stash house, taking Lyla hostage. I don't know if it's a stash house or the clubhouse, one or the other. Dillon's arrogance drives him to declare war on both SAMCRO and the Mayans, while Lila's resilience becomes her defining trait as she fights back and escapes into the night, however, gets recaptured the very next day by Dillon. Meanwhile, Jax balances his desire for vengeance with the need to navigate volatile alliances, particularly with Alvarez of the Mayans. The issue builds towards a confrontation with Lila's escape, only to be recaptured in Dillon's schemes, setting the stage for a violent clash. Jax reflects on the cost of his decisions, knowing the escalating chaos threatens both his family and his club's survival. Issue 21, the Sons of Anarchy face the web of betrayal and violence as their clubhouse they find ransacked, their safe is emptied, and ominous messages suggest the Mayans are behind the attack. Jax, however, suspects a larger conspiracy at play. As Lyla remains captive under Dillon's increasingly unstable leadership, she uses her cunning to orchestrate a daring and bloody escape. Jax's investigation hints at Dillon's group of meth heads and drug dealers that he's put together.
I would not describe them as shadowy.
No, they are
probably, not.
But they are not. While the Sons attempt to stabilize their relationship with the Mayans, Lila's return to the Sons provides crucial insight into Dillon's betrayal. That's when they finally find out that Dillon, the prospect, is the one behind all this. The issue ends with Jax's somber reflections on the impossibility of a perfect world and the club's precarious place in it as new threats loom on the horizon. The fallout from Dillon's actions in the next issue, the final issue, reaches a crescendo as Jax negotiates with Alvarez to salvage SAMCRO's alliances. Dillon's recklessness forces Jax to make a tough decision of handing him over to the Mayans to face retribution, a brutal but necessary move to preserve the club's reputation and stability. So we see a flashback as Bobby gets the news. It reveals that Dillon has betrayed them, and Bobby is pleading, "Don't kill him, Jax. Don't kill him. Please don't kill him."
Like Prop Joe. Like, it's like I kill him and then I got to deal with his mother at Thanksgiving.
SAMCRO ends up giving Dillon to the Mayans. And at the end of this, Jax did not kill him. Our final pages are Bobby Munson coming back as he's out of prison. And he asked Jax, is there any new prospects? And Jax is like, man, I'm sorry. He's like, no, I understand. So it's kind of like Bobby realizes that Dillon was not going to be good for the club, or at least he knew Dillon messed up and consequences had to be done. Jax tells him the Mayans got him. They definitely got him. That right there is all 4 issues, 19 through 22 of the Dillon saga. So
what an asshole this guy is.
I mean, right at the beginning, you're kind of wondering, okay, what happened?
Interesting. They got Howdy Doody in the motorcycle club. That's well done.
He's got a fucking mullet. He's there, big old freckles.
Ralph Mouth joining an outlaw motorcycle gang.
Yeah. So he comes in and he thinks he's going to make a big impression. Juice takes him under his wing as his prospect. And of course, and things go off the rails. This guy feels like he needs to show, in that first issue when he essentially doesn't kill him right there, but he puts him in intensive care, Felix, the big dude, by hitting him with a crowbar and then taking off with this drug money. He didn't realize that you're putting the club in a pretty precarious position with a rival club by the actions that you're taking. He's an idiot.
His whole thing was he seems to think that the Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club is untouchable. Something that Bobby said in the show is we have existed due to a series of intertwining friendships with other motorcycle clubs and gangs and organizations. It's a very delicate balancing act. When you throw this very delicate ecosystem out of balance, everything starts to fall apart and a lot of people end up dead. And so here we have a situation where everyone has to be diplomatic, in order to get this deal done with Cassandra Cain and the Mayans.
Cassandra
and this
Cain?
kid, whatever her name was, Cassandra Wolf.
I was trying to figure out, like, Cassandra Cain. Have I heard that before?
I haven't slept more than 4 hours since, like, August, dude. Leave me alone.
I'm tired.
I'm tired of it. So, yeah.
Tired of it.
Very delicate balance between the Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans, and Batwoman. Another Cassandra joke.
That's okay. Now I get it.
Damn it.
Well, I was like, Cain, what the hell is he doing in this? Cain.
Yeah, it's a very delicate. Let me try again. It's a very delicate balance between the Sons of Anarchy Motorcycle Club, the Mayans, and Betty, Veronica, Jughead, and Archie.
Jim Ross. And Vince McMahon.
Thank you. But he's like, I'm part of this badass motorcycle club. I can do anything I want. And it seemed like it was hinted at, but they didn't say it outright, that he was like, what do we have to do with all these dirty Mexicans for? Then he sees one of the coloreds messing with the white woman.
Right.
He's got to be chivalrous in his white trashy way. And everyone's just like, and not a single person thought he was in the right. Not a one.
What's messed up is that how many times is he told, straighten your shit up there at the party? Right. First it's Tig, and Tig looks at Juice after Tig tries to straighten him out, and then looks at Juice and says, will you please take this guy out of here and get him straightened up?
Yep, and he's just full of pith and vinegar. It's one of those youth is wasted on the young situations. He does not want to listen to anybody. And then he walks outside, and he's just all impulse disorder. He walks outside, he goes in the van, and he's like, I found drugs and money.
He's an idiot.
And then he tries to justify what he's doing. He was like, we told you do nothing.
Right.
What?
Just
what
go
is
there
wrong
and
with
stand.
You drink beer, fuck bitches, and go home. You couldn't handle it.
Right.
I'll tell you what. Of all of the evil people that they've written, the Stalls, whoever the marshal was, Donald Logue's character, this might be the worst character they've ever written. He was like with Stahl, I can see where she's coming from. She's law enforcement after all.
Right.
It's one of the struggles I had with this show. You're making me root for the people I want to see taken down. And you root against the people whose job it is to do that. I don't like it. Donald Logue's character, Stahl's character, a lot of the people, like, and even in the other criminals, like I could see Pope's point of view. I could see the IRA's point of view. What the hell is his name? And Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
I could see Danny Trejo's point of view. It was like his was like, no, I'm not sympathetic to you at all. I hope they boil you in your own pudding.
They tell him to stop. He then just like you said, he takes the money from the Mayans, leaves. They beat the crap out of him when he shows back up, and they say, okay, look, you're no longer part of this club. Then they walk him to the edge, ride him to the edge of town and say, never come back here again. And he decides, you know what I'm going to do? That would be a good idea.
Another situation where Jax is conflicted, and because he's family to Bobby,
right?
They should have put a bullet in the back of his fucking head and put him down like a dog. They don't, and it comes back to bite him. Of course, if they had, there would have been no story. This is yet another thing with the Sons of Anarchy show where they don't handle their business because of whatever cockamamie justification that they came up with, and it just makes it exponentially worse.
He comes back, he robs their clubhouse, and then Dillon makes a brilliant decision to go back to the Mayans. And I don't know what is going through this dude's head.
Because he thinks if he sells out the Sons of Anarchy, the Mayans will take him up on it.
He has no idea.
Right.
He has no idea how motorcycle clubs work, let alone the Mayans.
I see his logic. He's an idiot, but I see his logic.
He just killed a member of their. Well, of course, I don't know if he knew that at that point, but regardless,
I think he knew.
He didn't know he killed them, but he knew he beat one up pretty dang good and then took off. But then he goes back to them. He should have known he was going to be killed.
Never underestimate the combination of hubris and idiocy.
Yeah, right. In that story, where they're trying to figure out who did it. Jax is standing at the wall. He sees Mayans spray painted across it, and they know at that point it's probably not the Mayans.
Spelled with a Q.
And
Mayans, Mayg. That signal.
He says something like about wonder who it was that we really pissed off, and he's like, I don't know, it's getting hard to keep track. And that is definitely a central theme to a lot of those later episodes of Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. By the time you get to any one season of Sons of Anarchy, you turn into the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the string and the board.
He's going all over the place. Right. They really mess Dillon up finally when they get a hold of him. They string him up, and you thought burning the tattoo off that one guy's back was bad. They put the tattoo on Dillon's back with a knife. Happy grabs a knife and scrawls Sons of Anarchy in there. And then as he's just bloody and beaten, about dead, they turn him over to the Mayans.
We're done with him now. You may have his scraps.
And they beat him and then shoot him, so he's dead. Yeah. I mean, as far as the story goes, just like you said, this guy, there's almost like a bit of sympathy because he's just so dumb.
None. I have no sympathy for him.
He has
I don't cheer. I don't usually root for people to die. But I was in this story. I was just like, oh, I hope they kill him. Drag him from a truck tied to a tree.
The Mayans are like, no, let's just put 2 bullets in his head and we'll call it a day.
It's like, we're very efficient, say. Bang.
Call it a day.
No need to be all dramatic.
Well, I don't have any other notes. Do you got any notes on this one before we move to the next one?
Again, I laughed at the Bobby stuff where they're calling him and they're like, Bobby, we know he's family, but he did so much bad stuff. And all I could think about was Prop Joe. It's just like, that boy always was a disappointment.
Yeah. Yeah, Bobby didn't know him very well ahead of time, so it's not like Bobby encouraged Jax, but it's just like, yeah, feel free to check him out. And then if they didn't want,
I just love the whole family aspect of shows like this, where family is the most important thing ever. It's the life's blood of anyone's world. Then there's me, who's like, I could give a fuck less.
Right.
Outside of my kids, my parents, maybe. But like, if somebody told me, oh, hey, we want to put this cousin of yours in the gang. Oh, they fucked up. We got to shoot him. Like, what are you telling me for? I'm trying to watch my stories. Take care of your business.
That's unfortunate.
Every life is precious.
Well, one less person I got to see at the Thanksgiving dinner, I guess.
No fucking shit, man.
Thanks for joining us. All of this would not be possible without W2Mnet.com, so make sure to seek them out for more podcasts. If you enjoyed what you heard today, please feel free to share, and we look forward to entertaining you again soon.